Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. My name is Muhammad Khairul Hafizi bin Muhammad Rusdi. Matric number JK-14161-22. Today, our group would like to talk about health. Pandemic is affecting our mental health. In early 2020, the world was shocked by the COVID-19 pandemic, and the virus from China has completely changed the landscape of human life. The COVID-19 pandemic significantly impacts the mental health of every individual worldwide, and Malaysians are no exception. Through the news, whether on television, website or social media, we can see that many people are plagued with various problems, especially mental illness. However, many also feel burdened, anxious and afraid to continue their daily life while this epidemic still changes the country. Just look at what happened when the number of cases increased. On social media, we can see comments from netizens who are primarily worried and anxious about personal safety. It turned out that many people are still feeling the adverse effect caused by the movement control order. Some individuals are at high risk of experiencing severe mental health problems due to the adverse effect of the pandemic, including depression, especially when they are in a state of extreme stress and isolation from family and friends. If this depression is not adequately identified and treated, it can increase the risk of suicidal behavior. Sources from the Royal Malaysian Police have found an increase in suicide cases reported in 2020, which is 631 cases compared to 609 in 2019. As of March 2021, 336 suicide cases has been reported to the Royal Malaysian Police. However, the impact of the pandemic on mental health is not only focused on depression and suicide cases. There are also other effects resulting from this pandemic, such as drug abuse, despair, and increase in domestic violence and social anxiety. My other colleagues will elaborate on other main effects.
Hi everyone, my name is Muhammad Alif bin Muhammad Ali and you all can call me Alif. And my number matric is JN12802 and I want to explain our topic group about healthy, and my topic is despair and suicidal tendencies during COVID-19. COVID-19 and its impact on individual mental health. The World Health Organization WHO has where the medical and public health practice practitioners around the world call for every individual to practice social distancing in their daily life. However, it's actually contrary to human nature a creature that like to social life. Therefore, social distance is not just test of people's ability to work together, but at the same time creating various mental applications is of fear, anxiety, sadness, and depression. Fear and anxiety about the dangerous COVID-19 pandemic increase the mental pressure on oneself to surrounding community. We must take mental illness seriously, mental healthy, but when we are complacent against the COVID-19 epidemic, we forget about the silent dissent that is currently hunting the large of part society. The disease that are not visible to the naked eye, but many people feel anxious, hopeless, and become more and more desperate until, in the end, many may take shortcut by community suicide. Their actions are driven by a body psychology reaction when it's pressured by various factors that cause them become anxious, depressed and depressed. Sadness, loneliness, isolation, loss and hood and the film among the trigger of mental disorder, especially among individuals who have been struggling with this problem a long time. And thank you. And I want to pass to our friend to expand more topic about this healthy.
Hello everybody, my name is Brandon Leo Felix Agustin and my matrix number is JG/12472/22. Moving on to my presentation, as we all know by now, the COVID-19 pandemic and the quarantine measures generated different social and economic problems, adding to the fear of catching the virus, where had affected the mental health of the general population, accumulating with the presence of anxious, depressive symptoms and post-traumatic stress. Fear is one of the most influential factors in the presence of emotional problems, such as anxiety and stress. Exposure to constant fear increases anxiety, leading individuals to trigger traumatic stresses. The COVID-19 pandemic is one of the most threatening global outbreaks ever recorded in world history, and a highly stressful situation where it could trigger the emergence of traumatic stress if the fear and anxiety response is not adaptive to some individuals. Anxiety and depressions also accumulate mostly on individuals with low income, loss of income, and pre-existing health conditions, which is the sad truth for these individuals, as they are whom that is greatly affected. People with depression and trauma, which affected by the pandemic, have enormous challenges to overcome. They may blame themselves for a moral defect for persistently feeling down. That is all from my presentation, and thank you, and moving on to Shafiq.
When a person is depressed, it can be debated to relieve distress symptoms by turning to drugs or alcohol. An estimate one-third of people with clinical depression engage in substances abuse as a form of self-medication to relieve feelings of hopelessness, low self-esteem, and despair. Although this chemical intonation may temporarily relieve symptoms, they can also make depression more severe and trigger or intensify the negative feeling and self-destructive behavior associated with depression. People suffering from depression experience more than occasional feeling of sadness, and symptoms can be manifest physical as well as mentality. Some common symptoms of depression include loss of interest in hobby, socializing activity, work and personal goals, feeling of pessimism, worthlessness and hopeless, irritability, difficulty concentration, difficult sleeping or sleeping too much, appetite and weight change. Certain people are at an increased risk of depression and therefore as an increased risk for a substance use disorder. These include people who won't be employed for a long time, people who are unable to work, and people who do have medical insurance.
Hi everyone, my name is Rashiki Mete Hassan, matric number JK1418922. Today I would like to talk about domestic violence. Domestic violence is one of the most significant mental health impacts of this previous pandemic. Among the causes are number 1, stress. When everyone can leave the house as usual, can go out to work or do routine activities, think too much about the family situation because they think about the virus infecting themselves and their families. Stress will cause a person to lose his mind to commit domestic violence. Number 2, during the curfew, there are more family conflicts because they meet more often. This can happen especially to those who have been involved in domestic violence before. Everything that happens make it easier for conflicts and arguments can happen. Number 3, drug addiction. Drug addiction has been identified as one of the main factors in domestic violence. During the MCO, they may face difficulties in obtaining drug supplies, which leads to addiction symptoms because there is no supply. They become angry and will commit violence. Number 4, dependency. During the MCO, many people lost their jobs and sources of incomes, especially those who earn their wages or are self-employed. This caused them to depend on their family members. Number 5, worry. The COVID-19 virus worry everyone. They may not dare to leave the house because of the risk of getting this disease. They may be threatened or beaten if they go out to make a report or ask for help. And the last one is number 6, living environment. Domestic violence can happen to everyone, but those who live in small house and limited space may feel stressed. This situation will cause domestic violence. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Amir Hamza. My matrix number is WEJK16822. In continuing our group oral presentation, pandemic is affecting mental health. I will cover the aspect of social anxiety and fear. Social anxiety and fear due to COVID is very real and understandable reaction. It is important to remember that it is normal to feel scared and overwhelmed during this time. It is also important to practice self-care and to reach out to families and friends for support. It is also important to stay informed but not overwhelmed by the news. It is important to limit your exposure to media and to take breaks from the news. Additionally, it is important to seek professional help if you feel like your anxiety is out of control. First, check the source. Check the source of the news to determine whether the source is reliable. 2. Look for other sources. Look for other sources that are reporting the same news. If the news is not reported by the other reliable sources, then it may be fake. 3. Check the date. Check the date of the news to make sure it is recent. 4. Evaluate the content. Look for clues in the content that may indicate the news is fake. Look for clickbait headlines, sensational language, or exaggerated claims. 5. Check the facts. Check the fact in the news to make sure they are accurate. If the fact do not check out, the news may be fake. 6. Be skeptical. Be skeptical of news that is too good to be true or that seems too outrageous to be true. On a personal note, I am a survivor of anxiety and fear. I was diagnosed with heart disease and GERD during the pandemic itself, and currently are receiving treatment for both at HUSM Kelantan. Plus, I'm also receiving consultation for my anxiety disorder and panic attack management at the same hospital. I'm also doing my occupational therapy at the same hospital. Health is very important. Anxiety and fear are real issues. If you are struggling with anxiety and fear, it is important to seek professional help. There are varieties of options available, including therapy, medication, and self-help strategies. Thank you.